Hey guys, welcome to the Blue Abroad VFL Round 1 update here at Icon Park in a game we were expected to win against Southport. Up by around about 5 goals and in complete control of the game at three-quarter time. The Carlton Reserves team have ended up going down 16-12-108 to 17-7 109, up by 2 goals, maybe with about 3 to 4 minutes to go, and just a final quarter capitulation, really. Very, very poor final quarter. I think we conceded, it was about 8 goals in the last quarter to lose the game right at the death. And just a lot of things breaking down, really poor in the midfield, stoppages, getting walloped at the stoppages in the last quarter. And it was a very, very disappointing end to a game we, as I said, had complete and utter control of. And really, really disappointing way to win the game. But individually is where we're going to focus our thought pattern for this analysis. Liam Stocker today, absolute standout, was clearly the best on ground for the Carlton listed boys. 38 touches and a goal, was everywhere across half back, was thrown into the middle at an important stage of the game late in that last quarter and had a few clearances, and he started to create the magic, and we got ahead by 2 goals after scores were level late in the piece, and you thought it was all over. You thought that they might shift him down back after he did his bit in the middle, but alas, he stayed there, and the defence couldn't hold firm late in the game, unfortunately. He played predominantly across half-back and was a clear class above, and if anyone is off their form across half-back or through the midfield as well in the AFL senior side, he will be an absolute shoo-in to come in next week. David Cunningham, a clear standout too, 25 touches and a goal, 4 tackles from him, so his pressure's getting right up as well. Looks a class above VFL level 2, so it's nice to see him getting back into some decent form down in the 2s. And again, much like Stocker, if anyone up in the AFL team is off just that little bit, he'll be pushing his case as well. So those were the 2 clear standouts. Sam Ramsey's starting to put together a really good body of work as well. 22 touches and 4 tackles for him again today. Really good game from him. He's had now 3 games where he'll probably be named in the best. So, and he's got a lovely left foot as well. Looks like he's going to be AFL senior. Looks like he's going to get his AFL senior debut, hopefully maybe within sort of the next 4 to 6 weeks. He's tracking really beautifully at the moment, and he's finding his own football too. Doesn't look lost out there. And yeah, those are probably the 3 blokes I'd say that are really pushing their spot. Lockie O'Brien worked into the game okay, had a few iffy moments. Look, I think with him, clearly his run and carry is what's going to set him apart down at VFL level compared to the rest of the competition, but it's just a matter of doing it for much longer. Faded in and out of the game, kicked an important goal late in the quarter where we thought that might be it, got us a goal ahead, received a handball from Matt Owies and slotted a goal from 35 out, which was probably the highlight of his game. But again, just needs to continue to get his head in the game for much longer than he was and be harder at the contest too. So look, was okay. Can't see him getting into the senior squad anytime soon. Josh Honey was okay, 17 touches and a goal, seems to be working back into it nicely from I think a groin injury late in the pre-season. So look, he had a few moments in the last quarter where we had a big moment in the last quarter where Crocker was out 1-on-1 and he just wasn't able to hit the target. And it seemed to be a problem for us all day when we were streaming forward and looking clean out, and we just weren't able to do the simple things right when it looked like we were going to have a certain shot at goal or kick a certain goal. So from that regard, I think it's something he needs to continue to work on, but was fairly good. I think it was his second real game where we could get a sample size of what maybe to come for him in 2021. So it was okay, Josh Honey. Sam Philp had a really good first half, had a massive second quarter. Got up to around about, I think it was 11 touches by half-time and only ended up with the 15. So he faded out. I think he may have been taken off late in the game. So I think his minutes may be managed just coming back from that hip injury. Kicked a nice goal too. So keep an eye out for him. Sam Owies was really lively as well. Matt Owies, was really lively as well. Kicked 4 goals, but faded out in the second half as well. Didn't have much of it in the second half. Ended up with 12 touches and 4 goals. So look, hitting the scoreboard's good for him. That's what he's going to provide for us at VFL level all year. And, you know, players like Zach Fisher and Jack Martin and Eddie Betts aren't up to aren't up to the challenge, then he's definitely a viable replacement coming into the team. Works really hard too. So look, small forwards, you need to take your opportunities when they come your way, and he did. Just probably starved of opportunity in the second half when Southport really started to get on top. Corey Durden, I think, was on limited game time, ended up with 9 disposals and a goal. Took his goal really nicely. They got on the end of a half-back transition where he worked hard and ripped up towards full forward really quickly and got out the back and finished his goal really nicely. So he's tracking well. Probably, I'd say, maybe a month and a half away from really pushing his case. He's still got to put together a big block of work too. So that's a wrap for the Carlton boys. Carlton AFL listed boys. Clearly Liam Stocker, a massive standout in this game. So from an individual perspective, there's a lot to be excited about from the guys that we expect to be playing well down in this level, such as Stocker and Cunningham. But the guy I really wanted to make mention of, who was, I don't know if he's carrying something, but Will Setterfield had an absolute stinker in the reserves today. Don't know if he wanted to be out there. I don't know if he was carrying an injury or he was sick, but he... for a high draft pick and someone who was considered a part of our best 22 coming into the start of the year and being omitted only because he was ill, he really needs to pull his finger out because he was really poor today. Would have been pretty disappointed with his output in the midfield, especially in that last quarter as well, when we needed someone to step up at the stoppages. He just wasn't there. Only ended up with the 13 touches, and if you're coming back into the reserve side after only having 13 touches at AFL level, you really want to be doubling your output down at VFL level. So whether or not he needs a rocket up the backside, I'm not too sure, but he definitely won't be coming back into the side based on form from that point of view. But don't want to end on a sour note because Liam Stocker was fantastic today, and as I said, if anybody is out of form, even 5%, he will be coming straight into the side next week. So that's a wrap. Unfortunately, it was a 1-point loss for the Northern Blues. Hopefully they can learn something from that last quarter capitulation, and just really get your structures right around stoppage, because it was pretty poor around the contest and around the coalface in the last quarter, and that's really what cost us in the end. Just a barrage inside our defensive 50 late in the game, and giving away a silly free kick for a high tackle late in the piece was disappointing. But Liam Stocker and David Cunningham the standout. Sam Ramsey thereabouts as well. So hopefully we can bounce back with a win next week. All the best, guys.